Alright guys, Gemini back with another video, and in this video today I kind of wanted to address actually the video I made yesterday, and if you haven't seen it, the name of the video is my issues with modern wrestling fans. And I made that video, and you know what, it was funny because when I made it, a bunch of people came to the channel and they're like, Jem, you're right, Jem, thank you for making this video, Jem, I agree, Jem, this new stuff can't touch the old stuff. And it's like, I gave people a voice to stand up against the current product and where it is and where it's been, and a bunch of people were totally on board with that. And so I kind of wanted to follow up that video a little bit in this one and just say that one of the reasons why we're mad as current fans is because we remember when Survivor Series had awesome tag team matches, and we remember when WrestleMania didn't have a number and it was just, you waited all year for it. We remember the SummerSlams, the early ones with the Mega Bucks and the Mega Powers, and we remember, just wrestling just having these larger than life characters like the Macho Man and Hulk Hogan and the Ultimate Warrior and all these guys, Ted DiBiase and Andre the Giant and Junkyard Dog, and we just remember all these, Mr. Wonderful, Paul Orndorff. Remember all these great memories. You remember when Saturday night's main event, was the most highest rated show in NBC TV history, and 33 million people were watching Andre and Hogan. We remember how amazing that was, and how you stayed up all day and all night just to watch it. Now, for me, if Saturday night's main event is on, I don't care what current wrestlers they're putting out there, I'm not going to stay up and watch. I just remember when the wrestlers and the wrestling back in the WWF days was so much more fun. It was can't miss. And you just watch the stuff now, and when it's a Monday Night Raw main event and whatnot, it's just passé. You just don't care. It's like no matter what WWE does now, it's like for me and a lot of these fans on this channel, it's never gonna add up to what it was. It's never gonna be what it was. Old wrestling to me will always be better than what we're seeing on TV today. And there's so many pissed off fans who remember the Macho Man winning the title at WrestleMania 4. And it's like, how are they going to touch a moment like that now? They can't. Old wrestling will always be better than the new wrestling. I'm not living in the past or stuck in the past, but they can't touch their past. They can't touch how good wrestling was with their stuff now. No WWE Network. None of that stuff is going to come close to Ric Flair winning the Royal Rumble, or Hulk Hogan winning the title from Sergeant Slaughter at WrestleMania, or the Mega Powers exploding, or Hulk Hogan's early Royal Rumble wins, or Ultimate Warrior and Sergeant Slaughter at Royal Rumble 91. They just can't touch where they were. It's like wrestling peaked in 1990, and they can't. It peaked in 90. It went down up to 98. Austin brought it back up, and now it's back down again. The wrestling today will never compete with what it was. It'll always be better on the old tapes. Let me see. Look, they can't. The stuff they do now, you can't touch WrestleMania 4, the tournament. Didn't they just do a tournament a couple years ago, a Survivor Series or something, where it was like Roman Reigns and Shane? That tournament sucked. That tournament wasn't even close to the WrestleMania 4 tournament. Current wrestling will never touch the old wrestling for me. Like when Ric Flair was the champion in the NWA, wrestling Ricky Steamboat, and Hulk Hogan, was on Hulkamania and Ultimate Warrior, and wrestling used to be so much more fun than it is. Yeah, it's cool, go to the shows and have a good time with it now, but it'll never be like it was, ever, no matter what they do. They'll never be able to recreate the magic of Macho Man and Randy Savage. In my opinion, wrestling's gone. The peak is gone, the prime is gone, and I'll prove it to you right now. If you go up to most people who maybe don't watch now, what's the first thing that they say? I used to watch wrestling when I was a kid. I used to watch wrestling when Hulk Hogan was on TV. It's the first thing. I remember Macho Man. I remember Big Boss Man. I remember Mr. Perfect. And they always start naming old wrestlers. Oh, I remember Dusty Rhodes. Oh, I remember Ric Flair. People always talk about the past when they are talking about, oh, I remember Stone Cold Steve Austin. I remember The Rock. I remember how good wrestling used to be. It's always a conversation. It's never about today, because everyone says, "Oh yeah, I used to watch when Hulk Hogan would come to town." It's because it'll never pass when Hulk Hogan was in wrestling back in the day in Hulkamania. It'll never compete with that, and people will always remember that was the best. That was the glory days for wrestling, and they'll never touch it again. And that's why the old fans are pissed off. Gemini, thank you.